I'm Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network, and I'm at Chilton County High School in Clanton, Alabama, joined by Coach Tal Morrison, head coach here at Chilton County, my former offensive line coach at Benjamin Russell.
Yeah.
Coach, the first thing I just want to start off by saying is what a job that you've done here at Chilton County. You took over a program that at the time was struggling and was headed in the wrong direction, and within 2 years you've kind of flipped it and turned it back in the right direction and capped it off with a playoff appearance a year ago.
Yeah, it was. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work, and first and foremost, I want to tell you, thank you for coming and visiting. And,
yes, sir.
It's always a joy to get to see, former players and especially that they're, what they're doing and doing what they love, and out there busy with it. So, but yeah, it's been a long road. We still got a long way to go. I think we're getting some excitement going here in the community and within the athletic department and staff here. So, like I said, we should just keep our nose down and keep grinding.
Yeah, and this is your first head coaching gig is for football,
Yep.
But it's not your first head coaching experience because you were a head coach for softball. How much do you think that time with softball has really helped you now with this position that you're in here?
Well, I look at it, and I've been very blessed. I got to work for Danny Horn, Coach Horn, that now is a 7-time state champion coach. I got to work for Pam Robinson, who's well respected and well known throughout the softball within the state. Very well respected as athletic director throughout the state. But she decided 3 years into my teaching career to kind of step back and take a sidebar from softball, and that opened up the door for me to step in and take over a softball program with 3 teams, and it really it allowed me to kind of get an insight of administrative role within an athletic program or athletic team. It was a little bit smaller than say taking over a football program, but it did kind of advance me into preparing me for learning about C2C, travel, planning workouts, planning practice, all the little things that go into being a head coach for a sport.
And you mentioned Coach Horn, you mentioned Coach Rob, but you've gotten to coach with and coach under a lot of good coaches at JSU for a little bit. How much do you look back on your experiences with them and then use some of the stuff that you gained from them now as you're going through this and leading a program now?
I use, there's nothing that I'd say that is solely mine other than my work ethic. Other than that, I mean the things we do, it comes from many different people. Coach Crow, Coach Letson, Coach Sullivan, who's now up at Sully is up in up North Alabama, Boaz, the head coach up there. Coach Horn, Coach B. I mean, there's so many people that I pull things from. Your dad, Coach Brooks, that just how they deal with players, how they communicate with players, how they communicate with parents, how they communicate and to express what they're wanting done and all within a community, and it's just it's been a huge help.
And you think back on your last 2 years, and you're entering year 3 now. But where do you feel like that this program has really grown the most in your time from the first day here to now?
I'd have to say just the mentality for work. We came in and all, and I think the staff that was here before me, they had gotten them back in the weight room. But now we've got it to where these kids, they love being in the weight room. They love seeing, their bodies changing, them getting stronger, the maxes going up. practice and all, everybody hates practice. I mean, nobody loves practice, and the people that tell you, man, I love practice, they're lying to you. But they know that when it's time to go to practice, it's time to go to work, and so that mentality of working and working hard at something to earn something, I think that's a big deal. Mindset of, my first year here, when we walk out our tunnel, I could look at their eyes and tell, we were about to be able to compete, or we was about to get our brains beat in, and a lot of times it was that just whoop dog in the corner mentality, and we'd get out there and see somebody that looked bigger or somebody that looked more athletic, and we were done. This last year, we'd walk out that tunnel, and every game but that first game, and it didn't matter what they looked like. It didn't matter, how big they were, how athletic they were, whatever. We were going to go get after their butt, and and that's something that I brought here with me from Benjamin Russell, just that whole Gator mentality, and that's something that not only the football program, but a lot of our athletic programs are taking on that same mantra, that same mentality of Gator, that doesn't matter who you are, or what you are, or where you are, we're going to get after your tail. And when we finish playing you, you're going to know that you played Chilton County.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Gator means get after that, and you can add in the last A word that's on there. But that's one of the things that I noticed watching y'all. We got to see y'all last year when you came and played Benjamin Russell at the Sportsplex, and the physicality of your team had changed, and the way that y'all played, how hard y'all played. What was it about this past season that changed from year one within your group?
It's when I first got to Benjamin Russell, it was similar to when I first came here to Chilton County. It was a program that we used to passing the ball, more finesse. And when I say finesse, it was more about perimeter and quick game, that kind of stuff, and that's just not my philosophy. I'm more of a ground and pound, and that whole idea of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I know a lot of people think that's that's kind of boring football, but to me that's the most exciting football you can watch. But I think that whole idea, just the idea of running, being a running team, that's kind of what changed it. When Coach Horn came to Benjamin Russell, he put it in the bone. I was used to that. I knew that growing up, Randolph County. Coach Waters, my old head coach, who, along with Coach Horn, is a Hall of Fame coach, and that's what we ran. Our spread was the eye, and the rest of the time we was in bone, and so I grew up with that, and to me that's really what changed the whole atmosphere at Benjamin Russell is the bone, the wishbone, because we'd get in that and we'd run downhill at you, and that begins to permeate throughout the the line. It begins to permeate throughout the team. My first year here, they kind of saw some success from that. We played Opelika here my first year, opening drive. We take it down and running the wishbone, stick it in, and had a close game there at halftime, and then like a lot of the other games first year got blown out there at the end. This past year when we played, it started transversing over to other formations, and this past year we called for bone. They knew we were going to be able to pick it up and get whatever it was we needed, and that was just the mindset that it started to grow. And but yeah, it's a lot of little things, I guess, that makes a big change.
And we were part of that, rebuild at Benjamin Russell that
Yep.
you keep mentioning. And one of the things that I remember Coach Warren always preaching to us was you learn how to work, then you learn how to compete, then you learn how to win, and then you learn how to handle winning. Where do you feel like this program is right now since you started?
Well, I felt like that's pretty much, like I said, I took a lot of things from a lot of different people, and that's one thing that I brought here. That first year, we learned how to work, and those kids from that first year carried it over to this second year, and this year we learned how to compete. And this past season, and this year going into it, I told them we got to learn how to win. We had Sylacauga here at our place, fourth quarter, and throwing an interception going in from the 15 that could have tied the game, possibly win the game for us. We got Bibb County here at our place, driving it out from the 2-yard line in Wishbone, and carrying it down the field, and end up fumbling the ball right there near midfield, and they scoop it up, and score, and puts us down by 13. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can learn from losing those close games, and things that I want these kids to pick up on and understand and learn. We know how to work. We've learned how to compete. I feel like now we got to learn how to win. We got to, instead of sitting there wondering and questioning, can we, could we, should we, being able to knock that door in.
Yeah, you mentioned how you've learned how to compete. Now you need to learn how to win. I think last season you could see that y'all were competitive in a lot of games with people that, going into the year, a lot of people from the outside wouldn't have looked and said, well, they're going to be, right there with a chance at the end. That has to encourage you as you head into this next season that, okay, the year before we weren't in these games late. This past year we were in them with a chance, and now it's just getting over that hump and getting the win.
Yeah, that's, no season is the same. No team's the same. They're always going to be different. But, and the key is for the guys to understand that, all right, that first group I had here, I told them when I got here, look, I'm completely honest with them. I said, you can't look at wins and losses. You got to understand you're laying that foundation. And they did. They laid a foundation of, this is what it's like to work. Because, it was something when I came in, we pushed them, I feel like, harder than they'd been pushed in the past. And then, this year, past season, that senior group and all taught us how to compete. And now it's up to this senior class that's coming in and lead us and show these guys what it means to be a winner and to win. And so it's up to that group that's left. It's up to the next man up of are they going to let it slide, or are they going to keep it rolling? And talking to some of the guys from the staff previously here, that was something they'd feel like they were getting things heading in the positive direction and all, and things just kind of roll back down on them, and it happens. It does.
Yeah, and you talked about how this team really last year they learn how to be in games and all that. But when you're not winning games with kids nowadays, everybody wants it right now at that moment. So how hard is it for you to get kids to buy into laying the foundation and to buy into the fact that we may not win a lot of games this year, but you guys are helping build for the future? What's your message to guys normally to get them to buy into that concept?
Well, words and all and things you say, people say a lot of things. People say a lot of different things, a lot of different stuff, and so to me, it's not so much about what you say. It's about what they say. If they see a coach out there that they look at and think that he doesn't believe in them, he's not fighting for me, that kind of stuff, then it's pretty easy for a player to lay down. That first year, I just told the staff and we worked hard trying to staying positive and keeping the kids positive, making things fun. I probably came up with 20 something different fake punts and field goals, and just all kinds of crap, just to kind of pique their interest. Every so often, just keep things fun for them. we would run a fake punt at the drop of a hat. Just like I said, just to keep our offense, our defense off the field, keep our offense kind of controlling the ball a little bit, and but doing things like that, kind of rolling the dice at times when it's going to be a year that you're struggling. You don't have to lie to the kid. They're going to see right through it. You just be honest with them. And like I said, the hardest thing to do is to stay positive when times are like that. But if you can realize that and then lay out your plan that you have for the program or for the team. I told them this place, this school, this community, our stadium. Yeah, I mean, it is a great place to play. Getting to go through the tunnel, the way that I kind of got the horseshoe and all around the side. I mean, and I get Coach Hill's thinking about it. But 1 year, I don't know when it's going to be, but 1 year we're going to have a crowd that is standing room only, and people are wrapped around that daggone horseshoe. There's not a seat left in the stands, and it's going to be a high intensity, big time, high profile game, and that's what I envision here. That's what I think we can get here, and that's what we're going to work for here. We were able to make the playoffs this past year, and we grateful for that. And like I said, the senior group did an outstanding job leading us to that. We went 4-7, but the thing that I and our staff continue to harp on them about is 4-7 is not good enough. 4-7 is mediocre. It's a lot better than what it's been in the past. Playoffs for the first time in 6 years is outstanding, but playoffs needs to be and should be, and eventually, hopefully, will get to be to where it's expected. Not just once in a blue moon, but it's expected year in and year out, and that's what we're trying to work to get to.
And so you've wrapped up spring, and just finished up your first week of summer. So how do you feel about your team after seeing them this spring and going through this first week, and what can we expect from Chilton County football in year 3?
Well, we're very young. Heck, I feel like we've been young every year I've been here. We've got to get a mentality here of guys starting off within the program and staying throughout. For one, we gotta get kind of that all hands on deck mentality here of hey, if I'm a male and I'm walking these halls, I need to be playing football, and we need to have parents that say, look, if you want to be involved with sports, or if you're not going to be involved with sports, you need to get a job, or if you're not going to have a job, you need to be playing football. And honestly, I grew up on a farm, and we my getaway was football, because heck, we hauling hay and all that other stuff. I'd much rather be on a football field than out hauling hay or dealing with a bunch of dumb cows. But it's we've got to be able to figure out a way, find something that gets more out, and to stay out. We've got to get that commitment. But as far as this spring and going into this summer, into this next year, I think we got the guys that will stick with it. I think we got guys that are going to work. We're going to be very thin, as far as depth-wise. I tell them every day that just because if you're a 9th grader or 10th grader or whatever, you better be prepared to play. And if you're playing defensive back, then you're going to have to learn wide receiver, and vice versa. We got to have all hands on deck, and we've got a chance, I think, to build off of last year, and it just really depends on this summer and how well we do, and learning some of the things, correcting a lot of our mistakes we made throughout the spring, and what we made in the spring game, what we was able to see on film with it, and if we're able to make those corrections, if we're able to keep guys healthy, and get guys, learning their other positions, then we could be okay.
And what is the biggest area that you want to see this year's team improve at from last year, now that you do have playoff experience and that you have competed in some of these games? What's that one area that you think can really help this team get over the top?
I really don't know if we have just one area, because every time I look, there's well, heck, Caleb, you know how I am. I mean, if you didn't just take the right step, or your foot wasn't turned a certain way, that I was gonna harp that out. So, it's like I told a guy after the spring game. I'm out for perfection. I expect us, and I want us to be perfect. There's no way we'll ever be perfect, and there's only one perfect person that ever walked this earth. None of us are him. So, every day I come out here, there's something I see we've got to work on it, and I don't know, maybe it's kind of a crazy sickness, but I love that. I love knowing there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something else, and we're going to work on it. And because heck, I mean, if you're not working, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So. I guess if I had to say, hey, there's one place, our fronts, our offense and defensive fronts, I want to see us improve. I thought we improved last year on both, but we got a long way to go. And I think that mentality of being physical, of knowing, hey, every single week we're sending out a brand. We're giving a brand every single week to that next team. And what do we want to send? What do we want to tell them? What we want to show them with our brand of football? And that's kind of what we're looking to improve on.
Coach, I appreciate you joining me today, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me and my life as well. And I mean, you have a huge impact on me and what I'm, able to do now. And I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't have played for you. And you instilled a work ethic in me, and I'm seeing it with this program and the way that you've been able to improve. And I look forward to seeing what you guys are able to do this year and the steps that y'all take. And I know it's going to be in a positive direction. And I'm ready to see year 3 under Tal Morrison.
I appreciate it, Caleb, and you don't know how much that means to me.
Yes, sir.
Love you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I love you too, Coach.